Hey guys, Rick Shaw here. Do something a little bit different. I'll give you a quick update on my health. I was at the doctor yesterday and I was telling him about the real bad pain. It feels like the kidney on the left side. Deep. When I push on it, I felt like a balloon. And he says, if you got time, we'll do some checks. So they did a bunch of scans and blood work and stuff like that. Come back and said, no, we don't see anything wrong. I said, okay. So I got my red blood cell booster. And they said, I'm at an 8, and this shot's going to help you. And I said, okay. Well, I said, where should it be? They said, it should be 12. I don't know what their numbers mean, but it's way low, she said. And that's why I was out of energy. And then yesterday I had to start my second week of the chemo. So there's like 6 of the one pill, 10 of the other, and then 1 of the one I take every day. And then every week I take the 6. And I woke up this morning and 90% of the pain in that kidney is gone. So I don't know if it was the booster shot or whether it was the chemo thing, but it's gone. It's just, I can just barely feel it now. I can get up on my own. I definitely have more power. So that's where we're at. The other thing I want to talk about is, I know people go to the Philippines. I got one buddy who lives there. He loves it. Never plans on coming back other than for visits. I got another buddy over there that says, man, he can't wait to get the hell out of there. And he's just there on a vacation. So I'll tell you something. If you're if you're planning on going to the Philippines, I wouldn't sell my house, and I wouldn't sell my car and all my stuff, and just boom, cold move there. That'd be a huge mistake because it's not for everybody. If you have any health problems, you're going to have to live in a big city where they got like the Asian hospital that's more like here. But if you're going to move out to the province, just remember, I don't care if that hospital, if you can see it, you're still more than an hour away. Getting somebody to take you there unless they stick you in a tricycle and race you there. Calling an ambulance doesn't happen. If there's traffic, people do not get out of the way of the ambulance. If you had a stroke and you're in your golden hour, and then when you get to the hospital, they might not have the medicine. They'll have to send to somewhere else for it. So your golden hour is gone. Guaranteed, it's gone. You're never going to make it on that. So if you're not into super duper health, forget it. I wouldn't even consider it. I'd get a physical before I went, and I would go. I would go for like 30 days. And then when you get there, don't buy a house right off the bat. Rent. See where you like. Rent here. Say, okay, I want to rent this for a couple months. Stay there for a couple months, and then move. Move somewhere else, and check out the different places and see what you like the best. Because there's good places and bad. I lived in good places, like when we were in Carmona. I'd say out of all the places we lived, that was the best. I really liked it there because it was close. It wasn't that far from Manila, but it was far enough to get away from that pollution. But then when we moved to Lipa, horrible. We had a market that was 1 kilometer away, and if you took the car, it was an hour. You could walk there and back faster. It's just the sidewalks are so dangerous. They'll have a big pit in the middle of the sidewalk with a piece of metal over it. And you lift the metal up and look at this 10 feet deep hole with rebar poking in it. You're dead. Stuff like that. And then the stray dogs. I mean, you'll be walking down the street and all of a sudden you got some dog growling at you. Carry a stick. I always carried a stick. I had somebody say, oh, yeah, you carry a stick now. He's in the U.S. I always carried a rattan stick when I was in the Philippines, just for the dogs. I don't want any dogs coming near us, and they see that stick and they kind of back off. But get there, if you have any stress in driving, if you're going to be around any of the cities, don't get a car. Just use their public transportation. You can go anywhere you want. If you're way out in the province, like Tropical Tim, what does he do? He's smart. He rents a car. If they want to go on a trip, he rents a car. And he takes it and does what he needs to do and then brings it back. That's pretty smart, I think. And that's a better way to go than buying one. And buying a used one over there, if a car is any good, it goes to the family. And it keeps going through the family until it gets down to the youngest grandson, and he's already beat the hell out of the damn thing. So when you go to buy it, it's trash. They have CarMax. But they pull these cars over a grassy field, and they sit there and they get covered in dust. And then when you want one, it takes them a day, 2 days to get it out. And they might even pick it up on a crane to get it out. And then they try to clean it up as best they can. But you don't know what you're getting over there. I wouldn't even consider CarMax. When I bought my car, it's right next door. And I was looking at them cars. It looked like a junkyard more than a repoed car place. And the cars all look trashed. But getting a used car over there, a good one, that's rough. They're not big on oil changes. I've noticed that. Maintenance, they don't think of maintenance. All they think is put the gas in. You know, you see them pulling up and putting $5 worth of gas in, or $3 worth of gas in, or whatever, and you start to think, man, I bet you they haven't done the oil either. And then you look at the exhaust pipe, it's just black. So be wary of any kind of used cars over there. You definitely want to. Now, we have, on Maduro, we have land on there that we're planning on building on. I liked it there. I liked it just because everybody was super friendly, but there isn't a lot of people who speak the English like they do in Luzon. Everybody in Luzon can converse with you somewhat. When I was down there in Mindoro, unless you learn the language, you're going to be lonely. I would recommend that you take courses and learn the language, get Post-it notes and start naming off everything and learn the language down there. And they're going to like you even more if you know it. If you start speaking Tagalog, they're all impressed. They are. And I always said they're some of the nicest people you're ever going to meet. They got good hearts. There's no doubt about it. That's the major thing I found. You run into a few buttholes from time to time, but they're mostly just drunks or something anyway. So you got to watch, though, because over in that country, this is no kidding. I know people say, oh, you're crazy. You can get somebody killed for $100. It's just the way it is. Our one neighbor, he was walking down the street, and the guy was pulled up on the motorcycle. One guy jumped off and popped him in the head. Our mechanic, same thing. He owed some money. He didn't pay it. He was driving his motorcycle on the road, and they did a drive-by. Shot him right in the head. They're head shooters. Body armor isn't going to help you. They don't play over there. They don't think. They're not a group of people that think super far in the future, as a general thinking. Like in this country, people think of the future. Oh, I'm going to do this and that, and in so many years I'm set up to do this and that. They don't. They think for today. They think of their next bite to eat, because most of them don't make that much money. You know, if they get into the call center, they do really good. You know, and then they can buy a house and they can buy a bike or a tricycle or something. But if they're just they're a fruit vendor, or they're driving a tricycle or something, those poor people, they're lucky to make 8 to 10 grand a day in pesos, which is $20. You know, so they're going down to the cheap place to get food, and you know they don't eat right. There's a lot of diabetes over there. I would recommend that you stay away from any street food. I know a lot of people go up, oh yeah, the street food is good. Yeah, it tastes good. If you want to die. I mean, that oil in there is who knows how many years old. I went to a chicken thing one time, and I was looking at his stand, and he was cooking this beautiful looking fried chicken in a big wok. He had a propane thing in there. I looked at the back. He was just pouring that oil back into this big, filthy plastic drum. He had cobwebs under there. It looked like crap. It was filthy. And his utensils, he just would wipe them off on his shirt. And, oh yeah, but the heat kills the germ. So not out of the oil. So I would recommend staying away from any of those places. They buy the cheapest oil, canola oil. You go to the store, they almost give canola oil away. Well, you eat fried stuff in canola oil for a good part of your life. It's going to be the good part of your life, because you ain't going to be around long. That's some deadly stuff. You know, we make ghee. We fry everything in ghee. We don't reuse it. You know, you don't reuse oils. You should have new oil every time. If you're going to use an oil, like an olive oil or something, but they're not going to do that. You know, they want to make their stuff as cheap as possible. So you have to be careful of that. You have any questions about over there? I just had a fellow call me about the 13 AVs, and I was explaining to him how it works. And he was real thankful about that, because I've gone through it. Now, his is a little different because he's been there a while already. Might be different than mine. I applied as soon as I got there, and I had a year wait. Well, he's already been there a while. So I said, you'll have to call them and check on that. So, because I didn't do that. I'll tell you anything that we did, but when you're there, keep your nose clean. If a Filipino gets in your face, just back off. Just back off. Because you got 5 buddies ready to stick a knife in you. Don't even start anything. I wouldn't recommend going to any bars. I never went to any bars. A couple times after golfing, we'd stop in a place, but it was to get something to eat. We were in the restaurant section, but I wouldn't recommend it, because sometimes when Filipinos get drunk, they want to fight, and we're unusual, so they're going to want to pick on us. So don't even. It's best just to stay away unless it's daytime. But like on a Friday night, Saturday night, I wouldn't bother going. It's trouble. You just have to be real careful. Watch your back all the time. You got to watch for pickpockets. If you go to any of the malls or anything, put your money in your front pocket. All the malls take debit cards, though. If you've got a debit card or a credit card, they take a MasterCard, Visa. They take that at any mall, and all the stores take it. So you're in good shape there. It's one of their deals they have to have if they're going to be in the mall. But when you go out to these little mom and pop stores, it's cash only. You're not going to whip out plastic. Say here, they're not going to do that. They're on such a slim margin already. And some of the restaurants take it, some don't. You have to go find out. Ask when you walk in. If you don't have cash, do you take MasterCard? Or they might have a sticker on the door. They'll tell you. And then if they don't, you say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't bring any cash. So you just go and find somewhere else. But there's some really good restaurants. I know when we were living in Carmona, we used to go to this rib place, and this guy had the most fantastic ribs. Great price, too. Well, we were really fortunate because he opened one in Lipa, right not too far from our house, and every time somebody came from a visit, I can't remember the name of the place. Do you remember the name of that place, Faye? Do you remember the name of the rib place in Lipa? I'm asking my wife here.
What?
Do you remember the name of the rib place in Lipa? Papa's?
Basha?
Basha?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on the main drag. It's on the main drag, Basha. And you kind of got to go downstairs into it. And it's, man, it's a fantastic ribs. They got the best ribs around. And he don't give them the recipe. He cooks them at the main restaurant and brings it to them. And they keep it warm. He brings them a big load. And every time we go there, they got all kinds of good stuff on the menu. And I always want to try something else. But every time I get those ribs, they're just like melt in your mouth. They're the best ribs I ever had of anywhere, even here in this country. Nobody makes them as good as that guy. He's got a secret recipe, and he ain't giving it up. So excuse me, I still got this hacking cough because of the cold weather. It went up to 60 today here, but it's still. It was cold because it was super windy, and it was a chilly wind. It wasn't a warm wind. Even I said it's 60. You just put a light jacket on it. Oh no, they went outside, came back for their heavy coats. No, it's too cold out there. So the weather here is really going through something. They're talking about Thursday that we're probably going to have snow, and I'm not looking forward to that. I got a hold of the VA today, and we're going to try to start getting our loan in place. We found a real nice house in the town where my daughter lives, and I don't want to lose it. But the payment on it would be like $350 a month, less than that, $325. And I said that would be, get it now, just keep the heat on low, have my daughter check on it every so often, give her the keys, and then when we can get out of here in June, we can just move straight there. We're going to start saving up, putting all our energies after Christmas to save for the move and get some helpers in here. And we'll leave a lot of stuff, but we'll take some, get a U-Haul and head on out there. I got to have enough room to put the bike in the U-Haul. Hoping to get a center stand on that, because I would rather have it up on a center stand in the back of a U-Haul than leaning. and then I'll tie it in real good. The last time we saw the U-Haul, they got little hooks everywhere, movable, and I'll tie it up real good so it doesn't fall over. But the place has a basement garage and then a laundry room down in the basement. It's slick. It's just a perfect little house. I would want to heat the garage area. They have no heat going in the garage area. And there's the floor up above that is the 2 bedrooms. The dude, the realtor, went there today, and I used my FaceTime that Sean helped me set up, and he did a walkthrough, and I was telling him, oh, look over here, look over there, and he's showing me everything. I'm going, man, this place is. There were a couple things that the VA is going to hit. I know it for sure. The door between the garage and the kitchen, that goes down the steps. It's not fire rated, so that's got to go. And then they had a switch in the shower that's right outside the shower. And I said, they're not going to go for that. That's going to have to be moved. And there was a crack in the block. You can get some of that concrete grout and squirt it in there. That's an easy fix. But the furnace, they said the furnace, it's dated on there. He showed me the date. They said it was new. Well, it's 2017. So it had a new water heater and a new furnace put in 2017. It's a ream. And I asked him if he can get the previous gas bills and electric bill in the house. He said he's going to get that for me. So that's pretty cool. I mean, the realtor dude's going to help us out. So we're waiting to hear from the VA, and hopefully we can get that little joint. I don't want to get into a huge payment. Right now we're paying $1,000 a month, and if I can move down to $325, oh man, that's gonna, it doesn't sound like much, but $375 is gonna help us a lot in this little house. So we'll be able to get some furniture. I don't want to buy furniture for here. I don't want to get a couch. I don't want to do any of that stuff yet. We got stuff to make do. I'm not going to take it. When we get there, I want to have enough money where we can run over. I already said they had this down at Big Lots. They had this booth thing, like a restaurant booth. It sits in the corner. Perfect. I just have to measure it and see if it doesn't cover the doorway. The dude didn't have a tape measure, but that would be great for the little dining room. It had a nice living room. It had all the cable stuff ready. So I was like, boy, it's small. It's bigger than the first house we lived in, and we did just fine there. And I'd like to fix the basement up, make it more into like a rec room. The only thing, I won't be a car in there. The only thing I'll ever park in there is my bike, and that'll be way over on one side, and then the other side, I want to make it just enough room for the bike where the garage door is, wall it off, and then make a little rec room so the kids can go haywire if they want to. Put a dartboard up, stuff like that, and make it a little rec room. And if we want to sit around in there, and make it have a big sliding door, like a big pocket door, so we can see out the garage if we want. It enters off of an alley, which is kind of nice. It's what they call a half house. The people in front had a house already in a big backyard, and they decided to build a little house for mom and pop in the back. And it's a decent yard in the front, enough to put a garden. And the guy showed me the fence line. The people who own the house live up in 118, and they have a fence right on the property line. I said, great. So we know everything up to the fence is ours. And he said, yep, everything to the fence is yours. They'll have the survey done, and that'll be it in the house. So, okay, that's great. Then there's a wire fence on the other side. I'd like to put up a regular chain link, talk to the neighbors, and see if they'll go halves maybe. We'll put up a chain link because I want to get a dog. I want to get a big dog. I haven't had a dog in a while. Shaky's still in the Philippines with old Tatai, and we missed that pup. She was really a good dog, and I'd like to get like a Doberman or a pit bull, something that's going to help keep an eye on the kids. I don't want these kids going outside and some weirdo messing with them. And if they go somewhere, let the dog go with them. So, and if you get them as a pup, I want to get them as a pup. When you get them as a pup, you can train them up. They'll follow you around. I learned a lesson a long time ago. People always got to walk on a leash. My dogs, I never used a leash on any of them, because when they were little and they didn't listen, they ran away. I chased them and caught them. You come back here, and then you don't be mean to them. You pet them up, Hey, you're not supposed to go like that, and you pet them up. But when they get big and can outrun you, they still think you're going to run and catch them, so they don't run anywhere. That's just it's just how it works with a dog. So, but we're looking forward to getting out that way, and we'll be close to my daughter and the grandkids. I would rather go down to Alabama, but my wife is, I don't know, she's never been there. I don't know why it's a no-go. And I told her, when you hit 65, you ain't gonna want to live in this frozen tundra either. I'm getting up there, and this cold weather is just biting into me, guys. It's definitely not good. I just start feeling everything: knees, elbows, shoulders. It's the golden years. Yeah, I guess. Oh, well, that's about all I got for today, guys. I feel a lot better today, and I thank all you guys for your prayers, and I'll get back with you again. This is Rick Shaw